Hi, I'm Bella Hamilton, and this is my Coming Full Circle presentation. So for my selected service option, I chose community service, and I chose to go to Coalition for Kids. It is a nonprofit after-school organization for kids to come eat snack, do activities, do their homework, and have dinner. I selected Coalition because I love their impact and their story and just their overall mission, and I love working with kids. They provide love and support to children regardless of their circumstances and backgrounds, which I really love. And it's completely free for parents and caregivers to send their children to Coalition after school. And that gives children the opportunity to get a free meal and be at a safe place while their caregivers are working, etc. And that made me really want to be a part of it. Coalition was founded in 1998 by Mitch Cox and Lawrence Porterfield. It began at Fairmont Elementary, offering after-school and evening activities, and then over the years, it expanded into additional schools, including Mountain View, Northside, Southside, Cherokee Elementary, Indian Trail, Lake Ridge, and Town Acres. In 2015, the former Tri-Cities Christian School facility allowed Coalition to use the entire campus, which provided much more space to serve the children. And then in 2022, Coalition expanded to 19 additional schools, 150 staff members, and over 1,200 students daily. This form of service exists for underprivileged kids that need support and a safe place to go. Many kids under bad circumstances don't have a lot of opportunities to go to a safe place and have a hot meal and just be with people that provide support for them. And so that form of service gives them the opportunity. And it serves a population of kids in elementary school and middle school that are under those hard situations and need a place to go after school, even just for a couple hours. Some of the root causes of the challenges faced by this population are cost. So many families are low income and they can't afford for childcare after school, and Coalition's free, so that's a very good thing. And then transportation issues. So families can struggle with getting transportation after school because many of them have to work. So Coalition provides buses to just take the kids from school to Coalition. And then work-life balance. Most parents and caregivers of the children work, so it's hard for them to have time to pick up the kids and be home with them. And then most of them have hard home lives and they need somewhere safe to be, even if it's just for a little bit. For the funding and resources, it is funded through donations and sponsorships. So you can just go online and make a donation and help. And then it also is funded by a few like food places, like pizza places. One day a pizza place funded $1,000 and gave them all free pizza that day, which was amazing. And then a preconception I had is that I honestly didn't think that all the children came from bad home lives and situations. And not every single one of them do, but it's just a lot more than I was anticipating. And I also wasn't expecting it to be such a nice facility. I knew that it was nonprofit, so I wasn't expecting it to be so spacious and beautiful. And one unique aspect is that there's different activities Monday through Friday. And so, for example, Monday's STEM day, Wednesday's Bible study day, Friday is going outside. And then another unique aspect is how dedicated and loving the entire staff is. I honestly wasn't expecting them to be so amazing. And they all show up every day and show nothing but love and support for all of the kids. Opportunities for improvement. The only thing I would change is just being given a little bit more information when you start. You kind of just get thrown in and have to learn along the way. And it's definitely hard to tell volunteers how everything works because every day is different. But it would have helped if at first someone explained kind of the policies and how they want us to handle things with the kids. But I definitely learned eventually through experience. Personal growth. With civic responsibility, volunteering at Coalition showed me how fulfilling and important it is to give back to your community. And it's been so rewarding and has made me want to do it more. For professional development, my major is early childhood development, so it has helped me grow and learn so much more about children and how to support and engage with them. In social understanding, I've grown in my ability to recognize and respond appropriately to social cues and emotions working there. And every day is different and a little chaotic, so it helped me grow in that area. For a connection to long-term goals, it connects to my long-term goals because I'm planning on going into a career working with children, and it has taught me a lot about how to engage with children and respond to their emotions and actions in the correct and most helpful way. And surprises and insights. What surprised me about myself is that it was hard at first to remember that most of the children are acting out because they're going through something at home or they've had past traumas or experiences. And so I kind of had to remind myself every time they act that way or there was a situation happening, it's because they had unmet emotional needs and frustrations, and it was just the best way they knew how to get those out. And then what surprised me about the community is how supportive and kind they were. I was expecting them to be nice, but I was blown away by how amazing the staff and community was. And what surprised me about the course was how much I learned about myself and just how fulfilling it was to give back to my community. Stories and experiences. Some of our daily activities was just going outside, playing with everyone. We made crafts. So the other day we made this like little turkey like headband thing. That was fun. And then we also do Bible lessons, which is good. And then for snack time, that would be about 30 minutes whenever they came in. And then we would take the kids to the classroom. They would do homework and activities for about an hour. And then they would go to dinner for 30 minutes and get picked up and go home. One of the people that I met there was Miss Charlotte. She was the teacher in the kindergarten and first grade room. She was honestly so amazing. It shocked me how well she kept her classroom under control because the kids could get very crazy, but she was very, very kind to the kids and to all of us volunteers. So I'm very appreciative for that. And another person I met was Miss Cindy. She's the director of community outreach. She's very, very kind to me, and you can just tell how passionate she is about the program and how much she loves the kids. And she also really helped me with reminding me that a lot of them are going through so much at home, and that you just have to remember. So that's been very helpful for me. Stories and experiences. I met the project requirements by volunteering every week and getting my hours, and just by working with the kids and going where I was needed. And then key lessons and takeaways. So for the course, whenever we learned about cultural differences in Chapter 4, that was very impactful for my service activities. Helped me gain more insight about how we're all different and how we're all products of individual cultures influenced by our childhood, family, friends, communities, education, and religion. And learning about responsive citizenship in Chapter 9 reminded me that I have the ability to serve and give back to my community. And I learned that in service learning, we have a mission to help others. My aha moment was that even though I already knew this, it was just easy for me to forget at first. It was just that I had to think about what a kid was going through whenever they were acting out or retaliating. And I learned you just have to be patient and understand that there's always a reason for it. And you just have to think about that while you're dealing with what's going on. And that was significant to me because I've had past trauma and bad circumstances as a child. So I was reminded that I need to give kids the same understanding and patience I wish I had. And I'll use it in the future when working with children and in my career. Community involvement. You can get involved in this project by just submitting an application online or calling, and you can volunteer. You can also work there and be even more involved in the organization and with all the kids. And another way to be involved is to donate so they can provide the kids with even more support and things that they need. And then perspectives. I used to think of community service as something that was boring and something that you kind of had to be forced to do. But now it completely changed. And I think it's very important, and it taught me so many new things, and I had really, really, really good experiences there. And it was just heartwarming to get to know the kids and to be a part of Coalition's mission and their goal. Personal challenge. So one thing that challenged me in this experience was figuring out the right way to deal with kids' behaviors. So things were pretty chaotic every day. It was different every day. So I had to try and find the best way to redirect the kids and help them figure out their emotions and why they're feeling and acting that way. And I learned a lot, and it got easier to know how to respond quickly. And for my visual aid, I put a picture of just all the kids in my classroom. And I chose to include this because it shows all the kids I worked with. And the purpose is to show that they're all so unique and different, and you can kind of see all their little personalities through the photo. I tried to get a picture of all of them together, and it took a little bit because it was very chaotic and they didn't want to look at the camera and smile. But eventually we kind of got a good one. But it connects my service learning experience because it shows the classroom and all the kids that I worked with, which is basically just what I was doing there. And it just shows all the kids that I got to learn from. And yeah, so thank you. And that is my coming full circle presentation.